This is Wycombe Sound.
Hello, good evening, bonsoir and guten tag, and welcome to The Art Show on Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM. My name is Dane Cobain. For the next hour or so, we're going to be listening to some local music. We're going to be chatting to musician Maz Manzini. He recently put on a live streaming event of like a local open mic, so we're going to catch up with him about that. We also, each week, we have some recommendations for some different stuff to check out sort of while you're in quarantine. So we always have a TV show or a movie, a book, and an album as well. So we're going to get to all that a little bit later on. I've also got a few things I want to give some shout outs to as well. I think we'll start off with one that I literally just heard about when I started filming, and that is that Steph Willis will be putting on another Quarantine Sessions live stream. So yeah, that's on this Friday from 7 till 8 p.m. It's called Steph Willis Live with Corona Gig. If you search for that on Facebook, you'll be able to find the information. Steph's great. She does a lot of covers as well, and kind of like feel-good covers, just what you need really for a Friday night in lockdown. She also helped this week's guest, Maz Manzini, out with his live show, which we'll be talking a little bit more about later on. I can safely say that with spoilers, because we've already done the interview, so I know what we were talking about. So this week, I want to talk about entertainment and how I've been keeping myself sane, I guess. Obviously, I've been watching a lot of these live streams, but well, with me, I don't have a TV license, and I can safely say that on air, because you don't need a TV license for the stuff that I do, because I only watch, I listen to Wycombe Sound, I watch YouTube videos, I watch Netflix, I use Spotify as well, and that's pretty much it. But like with Netflix and YouTube, you have your little watch later lists where you can kind of build them up with all the stuff you want to watch. And my Netflix list is literally empty, or actually that's kind of a lie, because I've just added, there's a new season of The Last Kingdom, which is based on a Bernard Cornwell series of like historical novels. Basically, they're like Vikings, there's a guy called Uhtred, and there's a lot of people shouting, "Shield Wall!" That's pretty much all you need to know to be sold on that show. But yeah, there's a new season of that out, which will keep me sane. I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale as well, and His Dark Materials, both of those based on novels. But other than that, I have literally nothing else planned to watch. My YouTube list is down to like 400 videos, which might sound like a lot, but at one point I think it was on 25,000. So yeah, that's running out. I've got 37 books left to read, and I'm like really kind of, I don't know, picking up the ones that I've had for years that I bought in charity shops, never seriously intending to read, and now I don't have anything else to read. So we're entering like a worrying sort of dearth of entertainment here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do if we stay in lockdown for another couple of months. Might even have to start rewatching and rereading things. Speaking of rereads, I do plan to reread Persuasion by Jane Austen, so I'll be rereading that via audiobook next month. All of my rereads, every time I reread a book, I listen to it via audiobook, but I'll never listen to an audiobook for the first read. I think that's because, like, I don't know, I miss stuff when there's an audiobook on, because I'll just potter around my house and be doing the washing up and stuff. But I guess with Persuasion, I genuinely, I just couldn't focus on it. I think it's the way Jane Austen writes. I'm not really a fan, so apologies if you are, but I don't know, it might be like Mrs. Dalloway, when the first time I read that, I couldn't stand it. And I think that was mostly because I was forced to read it for university. And then I reread it like under my own steam via an audiobook and actually really enjoyed it. So fingers crossed for that. I guess I should shout out Dave Ford. This is one of the problems with working from home. I guess I should shout out Dave Ford as well, Twangling Jack Ford, who was on one of our earlier shows. Dave has written a musical, he actually talked about it on the show, based on Silas Marner by George Eliot. And so me being the good friend that I am, I've finally started reading Silas Marner after owning it for about 5 years. I'm only on chapter 2 so far, but I already have one of Dave's songs stuck in my head. But yeah, he posted earlier as well, he posted one of the songs from his musical on the Open Mic Slate group on Facebook, which I highly recommend joining if you're into live music, perhaps you're a musician yourself. It's a great place for people just to share videos of some of the songs they're jamming on. Some people share originals, there are covers, people playing all kinds of stuff. There was someone with an accordion the other day. I saw someone the other day actually share a video where they were playing Fruit. So yeah, definitely check out the Open Mic Slate group on Facebook. And also, if you are a local musician, please do get in touch with me here at the studio. My email address is dane.cobain@wycomesound.org. That's dane.cobain@wycomesound.org. And you can also find The Art Show on Facebook just by searching for The Art Show Wycombe Sound. I want to hear from local performers, poets, actors, anything artsy and creative-y as well. So even if, you know, you make, I don't know, handmade goods and sell them on Etsy or something, let me know. We'll do our best to give you a shout out. My neighbour's really making a lot of noise. The other thing I wanted to mention is that I've got a very exciting new DIY-ish project going on. This was actually inspired by a conversation I had with the first guest we had on our show, Jordana Blake. Back in the day, we were talking about maybe getting one of those kits where you build your own guitar and building a guitar together. Obviously, we're currently in quarantine. Plus, that's just, I don't know, you'd have joint custody of a guitar and it'd be annoying. So I bought myself an electric guitar kit. So a lot of my friends have named their guitars, and so I decided a little while back to do that. So I have my acoustic guitar is Loop, which means wolf. And then I have a bass guitar called Papillon, which means butterfly. So this electric guitar is going to be Abe, which means bee. So I've got some like luminous yellow spray paint for the body. And then like, I don't know, I've been decorating it with a Sharpie. I do have black spray paint, but I think I'm just going to use the Sharpie, to be honest, and be like super punk. I'm trying to make my own strap for it as well. And I've got a new, it's like a single coil humbucker to switch one of the pickups out, which will hopefully make it sound good, but it also relies on me being able to do some soldering. I'm not at all arts and craftsy and not very good at DIY, so we'll see how it sounds. But it did come with like a big set of instructions, so I think I finally understand not only what a guitar's action is, but also I think I now know how to, like, I guess, adjust the action and make sure the tension's right. Apparently I use a little Allen key and like you tense the bridge bit until when you play an octave on the string it sounds okay, and we don't want any buzzing as well. So yeah, I even got some sandpaper and some varnish to make sure it looks as beautiful as possible, which might be taking things a little bit hopeful. We'll see. I don't know, I guess I'll give you some updates on how it goes. Obviously it's a bit slow at the moment because the postal service is overburdened, possibly because I keep ordering things from it. Anyways, I'm going to play some local music. So this is a song called Giving Up by the Phenomenots. This is actually from their demo. They're currently working on a fuller album, so hopefully we'll get to play some more of their music in the coming weeks. But yeah, awesome band and a lot of fun live. I saw them at the King George a little while back, and hopefully we'll be seeing them again. In fact, I think they've taken in a stock of t-shirts and they're saving one back with my name on it. Not actually my name on it, it's not a football shirt.
It's time that I leave. Been manipulating me like a puppet on a string. My heart hurts knowing I'll be found guilty, but it's best for you and it's likely best for me. Giving up on you, you cause nothing but pain. Now I'm walking away. Don't expect to see me again. I'm giving up on you. You cause nothing but pain. Yeah, I'm walking away. Don't expect to see me again. What is wrong with me? Apparently I'm not good enough. Well, that's your fault. That's why I'm calling out your bluff. I think you're scared cause you missed your chance. Cause I could have loved you, but now that is in the past. Giving up on you, you cause nothing but pain. Now I'm walking away. Don't expect to see me again. I'm giving up on you. You cause nothing but pain. Yeah, I'm walking away. Don't expect to see me again. So don't come crying when he breaks your heart, and don't come to me, you torn mine apart. And don't you dare shift the blame, 'cause I'm sick and tired of playing games. Giving up on you, you cause nothing but pain. Yeah, I'm walking away. Don't expect to see me again. I'm giving up on you. 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 You got nothing but pain.
Love music, love talk, love Wycombe Sound.
Being a foster carer isn't just about providing vulnerable children a safe home. It's about loving, listening and guiding. It's about changing their lives. If there's space in your home and you have the time and patience, then Nexus Fostering wants to hear from you. We're your local fostering agency, rated outstanding by Ofsted, and we're here to support you in supporting them with full training and a competitive allowance. For a career that really makes a difference, visit nexusfostering.co.uk or call 0800 389 0143.
Hi, it's Pippa here. Join me every morning at 7 o'clock for the Wycombe Sound Breakfast Show, featuring all your usual favourites, including Carefree Karaoke, The Breakfast Banger, Chiquitita's Choice, and, in an effort to keep your morning routine as normal as possible, we'll be taking the register at 8:45. I'll name check all the people that have been in touch with me every morning. So why not tweet me, send me a message on Facebook, or email studio@wycombesound.org.uk. Don't be late now, and no skulking behind the bike sheds. That's the Wycombe Sound Breakfast Show every weekday morning from 7.
This is Wycombe Sound.
17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. Elsa shot down without a care. Elsa, she's a martyr, shrinking in the rough, shackled to the media. Yes, that was enough. Should have been art with art, with, yeah. Fiery left the grafter, veiled in Jewish blood. She was born into Tunisia, just trying to do some good. Should have been art with art, with, yeah. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. Elsa shot down without a care. Panic in the quarter, sirens on the road. This freedom gun is fired and it's ready to reload. Witnessing the slaughter with the flesh and bone. Should have been art with art, like Casson told you so. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. Elsa shot down without a care. Should have been art with art, with, yeah. Sailing ship out charter, send it to the sun. Colours turn to sepia, now that else is done. Should have been art with art, with, yeah. Could have been a different program. People, they could open up and liberate their minds. Wanna see a sign of some progress in this world we're living, where we all are entwined. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. Elsa shot down without a care. Panic in the quarter, sirens on the road. This freedom burner's fired and it's ready to reload. Witnessing the slaughter with the flesh and bone. Should have been art with art, like Casson told you so. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. 17 shot down on the river the day that Elsa went down. Elsa shot down without a care.
You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM at Wycombe Sound and also live online at wycombesound.org. My name's Dane Cobain, and we've just listened to Giving Up by the Phenomenots, and then we had Maz Manzini with Art, Wit with Wit. That was a lot of withs in that sentence. And we're joined this week by Maz, who's going to be talking to us about his virtual open mic that he hosted, as well as some of his music and more.
Okay, the first question, which has sort of become a new tradition. I don't know if you're much of a reader, but I've been asking if people are readers, what book they're currently reading.
Yep, I'm an avid reader, and I'm in a bit of a SAS kind of stage at the minute. I'm going to grab it to get the exact title. It's called SAS Shadow Raiders by Damian Lewis.
So is that fiction or non-fiction?
No, it's non-fiction. So it's about some stories that happened during World War II.
Right. Yeah.
So I would say about 50% of the stuff that I read is either about the SAS or World War II.
Fair enough. Yeah.
That's my current book of choice.
Sweet. I actually I saw this book a little while ago. I'll dig it out for you, and when we're back round, I'll give it to you. It's called Saboteur, and it's about they were called SOEs, so they're like special operations executives, and they were like when like normal people sort of basically became spies. And so this book is like a bio of one of the really successful ones who was sort of working undercover in France and stuff. It's all kind of fascinating stuff.
That sounds right up my street. The other one I've just finished rereading as well is First Light, which is my favourite book of all time. I think I've read it about 4 times now. It's about Geoffrey Wellham, who was a Spitfire pilot during World War II. And it's just from his journals that he wrote throughout the war. It's really, really good.
Cool. Sweet. I'll check it out. Okay, so one of the main things I wanted to talk about today really is your Our Friends Acoustic open mic and the virtual open mic. So, I mean, do you want to maybe give us a lowdown of how the actual open mic started and sort of let us know what it's like trying to transition that to a virtual thing?
Yeah. So I started it almost exactly a year ago. So the last one we did, which was the virtual one, was the 11th. So coming up to its first anniversary. So it's something that has been in the back of my mind for a while that I wanted to run. And then my mate Sammy Townsend kind of got involved, and we had a chat about it, and decided upon a suitable venue, which is the Rose and Crown in High Wycombe. And yeah, it was really conceived as an idea for trying to give some exposure to songwriters. So I think it's been amazing so far, but I'd still like to continue to see it to evolve into more of a kind of a songwriters event, because there are quite a lot of covers happening there at the minute. Yeah. And I know you yourself, Dane, you get up and do some original stuff, which is great. And I want to try and push it to see a bit more of that. So that's the real life in the pub event. And then because I've not missed one in the last 10 months, I just thought, well, why miss this one? There must be a way we can do it. So realizing that there's going to be a lot of new challenges, of course, but I just thought we'll just go for it and see what happens as a bit of a kind of experiment. And my sister-in-law, Steph Willis, had been doing a few kind of live streams, and I could see she was getting into it and kind of the technologies that are necessary in this current time we're in. So I enlisted her as well, the co-host and official tech support as well. Which is I've been working in tech support for about 13 years, so it was nice to get somebody else to do my tech support.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, with the events as well, sort of. I know you've had, you'll have occasional. I guess you wouldn't call them like a headline act, but you'll have like the guest act or whatever. So you've had Ant Barnes and like Alex Q before at the in-person ones as well. So it actually worked quite well because there was already that. That sort of history there, I guess, of you kind of putting on the event but co-presenting it.
Yeah, exactly. So it started out, I just asked Steph to be the special guest, as you said, as I would at a normal event. But then, for a couple of different reasons, one, because she was my official tech support, and two, she's got a fibre optic net connection. Right. Yeah. So we thought my internet connection was installed by Trotters Independent Traders. I think it's not the best. So we thought, okay, well, at least if something happens with mine, we've got something rock solid and robust underneath it in Steph's connection that will keep things running. But yeah, as you say, I do try and have at the usual events have one special guest who plays 5 or 6 tracks at the beginning, 5 or 6 tracks at the end as kind of the main showcase artist for that event, and again try and encourage people to play as much original stuff as possible.
For sure, yeah. And I mean, one thing I wanted to ask anyway is not just those special guests, but who are some of your favourite musicians and acts sort of in and around Wycombe in general?
Good question.
It's a tough one.
Well, it's not really, because there's so many good acts around High Wycombe. We're blessed really and lucky to have so many, particularly acoustic singer-songwriter types around. I'm hopefully going to do another virtual event, which I'll come on to in a minute. And having kind of put some of them on at that first one, I've still got a load of people I'm desperate upon at the next one. Yeah. But one of my, I think I said as part of the commentary on the day, one of my personal favourites is Harry Quinn. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good friend as well, but his style of music and writing is great. Real big fan of his, and listening to some of his unreleased newer material, it's just getting better as well. Well,
sorry, I was going to say, I suppose as well, because he's not in the Wycombe area at the moment, is he? So it's good to have something like the virtual open mic where you can almost bring him back, because we all know him and we've all played with him and seen him play before, so it's good to still kind of keep that up. Yeah, definitely.
We get lots of good acts that come down to the event in the pub. Obviously, yourselves, the ilk. I shall doff my cap. You and David have been great supporters of the event since I kicked it off, and really appreciate that. And always put on a show, and I like your tunes as well, Dan.
Cheers,
some good tunes.
It's our local event as well. Well, apart from the Arts Centre, because me and Dave right round the corner from both the Art Centre and the Rose and Crown, so it's always a good one because we can stumble home afterwards, you know.
Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else locally. I mean, as you said, it was great to get some people in that I know, but not necessarily local. Like, I mean, we had DP Jones join us from France, which again, sort of unforeseen technical issues when there was a massive delay on the line. So me trying to have a conversation with him was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But I thought he was awesome, and again, somebody who was Wycombe based until very recently. Ian Horrocks played. Again, I thought he was absolutely cracking at the event. It's obviously it's dependent. The sound quality is very dependent on each individual person's internet connection speed. So there's always going to be a bit of variance in the quality, but yeah, I thought those two guys sounded really good.
Cool. And again, so you mentioned the next one will be the 1 year birthday. So have you got anything special planned for that? And have you thought about potential special guests?
Well, I only kind of decided I was going to do it about 3 hours ago.
So it's not a chance.
Not a chance yet. It's very much embryonic at the minute. So I'm thinking of running it on the Bank Holiday Friday, just to shake things up. You're actually the first person to know that.
Okay.
So I think it's possibly 3 till 6 on Friday the 8th of May.
Cool.
Because these events, as you know, run third Sunday of the month usually. But yeah, I just think a couple of weeks away from now will be plenty of time to kind of get it together. And I think going to look to get Jordana. What's her surname? Lucy Blake, is that right?
Blake, yeah. She was the first guest I had on this show. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Cool.
No, that'd be cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I think she commented while we were doing the first one and said she wanted to play. So and she's come and played the event in the pub.
Yeah,
She was excellent. So yeah, it'd be nice to get her up. But I've got a few ideas in my back pocket, but I won't say yet, just in case they can't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, cool.
This is Wycombe Sound.
Juliet's a girl who could go right to the top, and surely everybody knows about it. Strawberry curls and a pink cigarette, that's the way she likes to go about it. Well, she sinks to the deep with a chain round her foot, and yet she's smiling as it drags her body down. Yeah. Waiting for the world to step in, she goes up and down and carries on around it. Watch it unfurl when you go right to the top, and then everyone will know about it. Well, she sinks to the deep with a chain round her foot, and yet she's smiling as it drags her body down. When times get rough, I'll be placed in my bed, that she's flirting with the right idea now. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off, yeah. Sailing on all the rivers and the seas alone, all these people just holding on until the waterfall of conviction. Chin up, my love, don't look back. The wasteland of love in your heart attack. The future with hope, and set your soul free. free. Well, she sinks to the deep with a chain round her foot, and when she's smiling as it drags her body down. When times get rough, I'll be placing my bet that she's flirting with the right idea now. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off, yeah. Well, Juliet's a girl who could go right to the top, and surely everybody knows about it. Strawberry curls and a pink cigarette, that's the way she likes to go about it. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off. Stop tearing at the corner of the plaster, Juliet. Gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off, gotta rip it off.
That was Juliet by Maz Manzini. You're listening to The Art Show on Wycombe Sound 106.6 FM. My name's Dane Cobain, and we're here with Maz now, and we're going to be talking a little bit more about music, the Wycombe art scene, and what he's been up to during quarantine.
So I wanted to talk as well, like, about your own music. So you've got, is it just the one album you've got out at the moment?
So it's for full releases. I've got one album and one EP.
Mm-hmm.
So the album is a bit of a Paul McCartney job. I play everything on it.
Yeah.
It's all done in my home studio, and then the EP was done with my band.
Yeah.
So that was done in someone else's studio with a bit more space and kind of live drums and basically recreating a bit more what we do live.
Yeah. And I mean, who's in your band? Because you play with Alex Valentine, right? And who else is in there?
Yeah, so Alex Valentine, of course, he's in every band in Wycombe.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's a busy man.
He's a busy man.
He's in the Alex... he just doesn't know it.
Yeah, I noticed you keep grabbing him in.
Yeah.
Alex Q, who you mentioned earlier on, so he's playing some rhythm guitar and doing BVs, and then the McKee brothers, so Rich McKee is my lead guitarist, and Josh McKee is my drummer.
Cool. And I mean, are you working on anything new? Have you got any new albums planned, or have you been writing new songs or anything?
Yeah, I am indeed. So I'm working on the second album at the moment. It's got to be 13 tracks, like the first album. 13's a lucky number.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of these albums where there's like 7 or 8 tracks. I don't think that's
an EP.
That counts. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be. I've already decided it's going to be 13 tracks. I've written 6 tracks at the minute. 6 finished. I've just finished 2 tracks for it. So it's coming along nicely. I was there was this one song that I was singing my daughter to sleep with on a night, and it kind of evolved every single night. And I started thinking, well, actually, that's pretty good. I might use that, and it's now a full song.
Cool.
Which is pretty good, and it's country, which is unusual for me.
Yeah.
I've never written a country song.
I don't think I have either.
No, give it a go.
I might do, actually. Yeah, I think Dave was talking about doing it the other day, so why not?
Challenge extended.
Yeah. Well, actually, I did. I learned to play one of the songs from Tiger King the other day. That's about as country as I've got recently. But yeah.
Nice. I've just finished episode 1. Should I
sweet.
continue?
Yeah, definitely continue. It just gets crazier and crazier, basically.
Well, it gets even more crazy than the first episode.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Okay.
You keep thinking it can't get any crazier, and then something it keeps going. It's like, and it drags you in.
Okay, I shall keep going with it. It is completely mental. But yeah, so I'm basically 50% through writing a new album. It's been a long time coming. To be honest, it should have occurred. Should have been released about 2 years ago, but life got in the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's coming along.
And what does the songwriting process look like to you? Like, how do you start writing a song?
So I prefer to have total solitude when I'm writing, because for me, it's melody is primary and lyrics are secondary.
Yeah.
So I tend to, I'll write something on a guitar. Hopefully I'll be able to do that on piano soon. I'm having piano lessons, but not quite yet. I'll write something on the guitar, and then I'll start making noises over the top of it. So basically singing syllables.
Yeah.
So I sound like an absolute nutcase when I'm writing a song.
Yeah, no, that's kind of what I do as well.
Yeah, but it can make you a bit self-conscious if there's kind of other people within earshot.
Yeah,
so I tried to when I could lock myself down in the sound booth at the office where I work during the day, and I try and do a couple of hours every few nights and work that way. Lyrics, when I first started writing, were very throwaway, and I just kind of write anything down. But although they're secondary to me, they've become much more important, and I've definitely improved at writing lyrics. When I look at some of the first songs I wrote now, the lyrics are absolutely diabolical.
Yeah.
And you can the stuff I've wrote recently, I'm quite proud of, and I try and, where possible, write stories in lyrics, to try and paint a picture with the words. So it's a story about a person, or just something that's captivating and interesting.
Yeah, no, makes sense. Yeah. So one question I want to ask you is, does the musical talent run in your family as well?
So it's interesting you asked that, because hopefully my sister is going to play at the next Our Friends Acoustic virtual edition. I tried to rope her in for the first one, but she's a bit out of practice, so she said maybe if you do another one. So my sister is one of the finest songwriters I've ever known. Obviously I'm biased, but she's got some incredible talent, and is an amazing vocalist as well. So yeah, hopefully she'll be at the next Our Friends Acoustic, and everyone that tunes in online will be able to hear her. And my mum's good at harmonies. She sings in harmonies. Some people just automatically find the harmony.
Yeah. Have you ever been into, like, when you go into like an old folk club and someone's playing like just some old folk number, and everybody in the whole pub is all singing harmony?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like when I grew up in pubs like those.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so my mother would fit well into that scenario. And my dad actually features on my first album. Oh, cool. He does some vocals on the last track, which is actually a cover. It's by a guy from Middlesbrough called Pete Betts. It's an old northeast folk song, and it's my dad's party piece. So I thought I'd have to get him into singing it. So yeah, my dad can get through a tune as well.
Cool. Okay, and I wanted to know as well, so if you could collaborate with sort of any musicians of your choice, we'll go living or dead, who would you pick? Who would be in your dream band?
Dream band. I'd love to collaborate with Wallace Baird. Is my favourite artist and my biggest influence. I'd love to do something with her. I'm still determined to support her at a gig at some point. I've met her a few times now. She actually gave me a hug last time I met her, which was I was smiling for about a week. So Neil Finn is a songwriting idol. I'd love to collaborate with him. I guess I'm thinking more songwriting wise.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That works. Yeah.
With Wallace Baird, Neil Finn. If you're talking band, I'd have Dave Grohl on the drums.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Without a doubt. It's kind of an obvious choice, but he's. When you hear Dave Grohl drumming, you just know it's Dave Grohl straight away.
I feel like that it would make you write like heavier songs though, because you can't have Dave Grohl like smashing the drums on Parisian Girls or something. Well, maybe in the breakdown bit of it, that's when he'd really come into his own.
Yeah, no, that's right. But actually, one or two of the tracks that I've written for the new album are quite heavy, actually.
Yeah.
So Dave would be fine on those. But yeah, you're right on some of the softer numbers. he might be like getting a bit bored.
Yeah. Cool.
But yeah, and Bruce Watson from Big Country on lead guitar.
Sweet.
There you go.
Cool. And okay, last question. Just what have you got planned for sort of post-lockdown? I guess once we can get back out and about again.
I am going straight to the pub, and I'll see you then.
Yeah. We'll probably be waiting outside before it opens.
Yeah, just the social aspects of just going out and seeing mates and seeing people and seeing live music.
Yeah.
I'm missing going to the office. Like there's a few times I've actually just walked to my office and back just for the normality of it, really. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting down places like the Bellevue and just catching up with people, giving them a massive high five and a hug,
and hopefully sharing some of your new material as well.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Cool. And where can people find you as well?
So people can find me on mazmanzini.com or on facebook.com/Maz Manzini Music. That's probably the one where I'm kind of updating the most at the minute. And if you want to kind of follow what's happening with these virtual events, then if you give that page a like, and you'll get updates on what's happening. And also let me know for any suggestions for who should be playing.
Thank you very much, Maz, for joining us. You're listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. This is Clive Whitelock's band, occasionally David, half-hour instrumental. Don't worry, it's not half an hour long, really.
Love music. Love talk. Love Wycombe Sound.
From the 1st of April, your new Buckinghamshire Council will replace the existing county and district councils and continue to deliver all the services you are used to. Visit buckinghamshire.gov.uk.
We understand that everyday life is going to become challenging over the next few weeks and months. but we want to reassure you that the Wycombe Sound team are here to inspire and entertain you with local, relevant programmes and information.
We followed government advice and set our team up to work remotely. We have taken all the steps we can to keep our team safe so we can be here for you.
Local businesses. Perhaps you have closed temporarily or have found a new and innovative way of working. If you want to reach customers with your message, get in touch with us today.
We can get through this if we all pull together. Please stay at home, stay tuned to Wycombe Sound for the latest information, and do get in touch with us to let us know how you're doing, if you'd like a song played, or just want us to say hello to you.
This is Wycombe Sound.
This is Wycombe Sound.
Alright, I thought I'd spice things up a little bit. That was Born to be Wild by the Chineapple Punx. I think he's their bassist. He's called Dugald, and I think he's a maths teacher here in Wycombe. I also see it, well, I don't obviously at the moment, but I see him fairly often at places like the Mad Squirrel and stuff. He's a good guy, part of the High Wycombe Skeptics, I believe. That's actually run by my friend Neil as well, so shout out Neil if you're listening. Might even get him on the show at some point. Hopefully once things calm down a little bit and we can start to talk about some of the events that he puts on, because he's really keeps busy in the local community. Anyway, we're at that time of the week where I'm going to suggest a couple of things to keep you going through quarantine. So my TV show for this week is going to have to be His Dark Materials. It's a BBC show. It's an adaptation of Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials novels. There's only the first series out so far, which kind of roughly corresponds with Northern Lights, which is the first book in that trilogy. And those books are really the reason why I fell in love with reading and why I'm a writer today. So I've kind of put off watching this series for a little while now because I was worried it wasn't going to, live up to the hype I've given it in my head. There's also the fact that there was an old movie version of it called The Golden Compass, which was the US title. That had Daniel Craig and Nicole Kidman in it, I think. And it was critically very widely panned, and I've seen it, and it wasn't very good. But yeah, the BBC series is much, much better. For this week's book, I'm actually struggling a little bit because I think I mentioned earlier, I've been trying to cut down on the number of books I have that I own and haven't read, which means I've been reading loads of stuff that I honestly couldn't really recommend to you guys. What I will recommend, though, is something I reread earlier this month, and that is Jingo by Terry Pratchett. Terry Pratchett used to write comic fantasy. He's known for his Discworld series, and Jingo is an installment in that. The Discworld is like a sort of fantasy kind of parody of our own world in many ways. So although there are dwarves and trolls and that kind of thing, you also get to see things like the introduction of a post office system, and the clacks, which are semaphore towers, which, you know, allow them to communicate over great distances. So I think it's always really cool to see the way that Pratchett holds up a mirror to our own society. Jingo's part of the City Watch series, which stars Sir Samuel Vimes. That's actually like basically Terry Pratchett with the Discworld books. He has a lot of sub-series within it that, you know, you can read either random books just out of order, you can read the whole series in order, or you can, you know, focus on these little individual sub-series. Jingo is one of the City Watch books, and those are pretty much my favourite sub-series within the Discworld. And the story is basically about kind of equivalent of the lost world of Atlantis, kind of bubbles up out of the sea. And Ankh-Morpork, which is like the main Discworld city, and Clatch, one of the neighbouring provinces, basically getting this sort of political dispute over who owns the land. And we also see that actually through the eyes of like these local fishermen from each of the countries, who both, you know, they both claim they're the first to discover it, and they're both claiming it for their land and stuff, and they're getting into these bitter fights and not sharing food and all this stuff. And meanwhile their kids are there just going like, Dad, can we go home now? So yeah, great book, and would recommend. And then for this week's album, I'm going to recommend What to Do When You Are Dead by Armour for Sleep. I'm sure it's not to everyone's cup of tea. It's one that I used to love when I was about 17. I actually have pretty vivid memories of playing the PlayStation 2 game of Underworld, the vampire movie, whilst listening to this album. And it's like a concept album based on somebody who's, I don't want to give it away, I suppose, but somebody who's died and they kind of come back and sort of haunt their loved ones and look at people moving on with their lives. Yeah, it's got some great tunes on there. It's kind of like, I'd say like pretty emo. It's the closest I go to being emo. It's not as emo as like My Chemical Romance, but it's more emo than, I don't know, Bowling for Soup or someone. On a totally unrelated note, hopefully you guys haven't had too much background noise. I live by a hill, and you'd be surprised by the number of people who are making apparently essential journeys that involve racing up and down this hill as fast as possible. Although at least people aren't on their like scooters and weird little 4x4 golf buggy things, whatever you call them, I don't know. Anyways, that brings us about to the end of this week's episode. My name's Dane Cobain. You've been listening to The Art Show on 106.6 FM Wycombe Sound. As always, we're on Facebook, so you can head over and join us there if you just search for The Art Show Wycombe Sound on Facebook. You can also email me at the studio on dane.cobain@wycombesound.org. Next week, we're going to be joined by at least 2 members of My Mate Dave, possibly all 4 of them. We will see what we can figure out with technology. So I'm going to be talking to Claire and Matt Moon about their group My Mate Dave, which is, I suppose, like a sort of quite a folky group. They are quite active in the art scene as well, so they put on some pretty big gigs, including people like Tankus the Henge. They own Ruby Moon as well, so they've got some sort of cool stuff to talk about there, hopefully. So yeah, tune in next week where we will be talking to the Moons. In the meantime, I'm going to play you out with Harry Quinn with Coloured Sound. I'll see you next week. What is going on outside?
When you've got your world you see.
This is Wycombe Sound.